If you believe teamwork wins games, you're already thinking like an Arc Raider. In Arc Raiders, you and your squad brave the face of a future Earth where killer machines known as Arc roam the surface, and they always shoot on sight. Rely on your squad, fight the Arc, and extract before the time runs out. Build your loadout, then loot the Rust Belt for materials and treasures to grow your stash and level up. But it's not just you guys up there. Other Raiders have their eyes on the same prize. Every run is pressure. Every decision is a play call. Do you push forward or extract while you're ahead? Team up. Trust no one. Make the right call when it matters most. Arc Raiders is available now for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Rated T for teens.
Here's the issue, Mark. You and I are aging, and that it's hard to stop that.
Nope,
you know
it's
what I mean?
Problematic.
So we can't do the things like we used to do, which is like, stay up late at the bar, then go get a burrito, and then wake up 4 hours later, and everything's fine. We need something. How about this, Mark? How about what I've been using? Terra Origin. Because adulthood, it's hitting hard. We're dealing with it. Middle-aged guys. My knees hurt. I hurt my wrist the other day. I punched a door. Shouldn't have done that. And now my wrist hurts. This is stuff that wasn't happening when I was young. So this is where Terra Origin comes in. Are you curious why I punched the door?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a different conversation. But, if you've got Terra Origin, I'm sure that you're going to be able to get your way out of that mess.
Aaron Judge grounded into a double play. Anyway, Terra Origin makes science-backed, clean supplements designed to help men perform better, recover faster, and feel good every single day. They make smart, no BS supplements that actually help you feel human again. And that's why this is the product that you need. The best part about Terra Origin, no fluff, no fads, just premium, transparent formulas you can trust. It's like upgrading your daily routine from survive to thrive. So whether you're lifting, leading, grinding, or parenting, Terra Origin helps you show up at your best. Visit TerraOrigin.com and use the code PODCAST for 30% off your first order and free shipping. That's TerraOrigin.com. Terra Origin. Feel better from the inside out. I don't want to make too much of it because they've been a very good road team this year. They're a great team. But it could decide their season. I mean, the idea of the difference between having a bye and the playoffs going through you and having to win 3 straight road games could be life or death for teams. So let's see if Seattle has that urgency at kickoff. I got a feeling they will have that urgency because they are badass. Hey-oh! That's not annoying at all. Welcome to Heed the Call, an NFL football podcast. You better watch out. I might have liked that, and then I'm going to do it forever. Metrics. Crash.
Show ends.
Show ends. What happened? Everything seemed to be going well. I got a story for you. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. Welcome to our show. Dan Hanzus here. Marc Sessler. Justin Graver on the ones and twos. Yes, it's the Wednesday end-around program where we get to, catch our breath a little bit in between weeks, assess the landscape, Mark, of our league, and hopefully have a little fun football dialogue. I think that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's a day of reflection. We kind of ruminate on all the information that we got on Sunday and Monday, and it helps us grasp this pro football sport and the future to come with more surety.
Wow. That sounded a little bit
I don't
like
even
an
know
alien.
if I believe what I just said, but
that was a little bit of like the aliens, or it's like a robot, a humanoid, and it got the information. The host has said comment. I am processing it, coming up with AI response, and now it is delivered.
In this case, I can't disagree with your point. That did not come off the tongue the way that I planned, but
not the most human response, but Mark,
no.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's the middle of December. We're a week away from Christmas now. Coming up on today's show, Flashpoint Focus, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
And I know some people might be like, why are we talking about the Chiefs? We finally have an opportunity to not talk about the Chiefs. And I understand that. Mm-hmm. But two counterpoints. One, with their season freshly over and Patrick Mahomes, he gone. They're a hot story right now. And two, we have one of the best beat reporters in the country who happens to cover the Kansas City Chiefs, who happens to be a friend of the show. Mark, best friend of the show, perhaps, Pete Sweeney. So you could do the math on this one. It's a perfect guess for the end around.
Well, and I think it's when everyone is thinking they're not a story, we're seeing it for what it is. The story is just beginning with what happens with this Chiefs team. So we're going to dig in.
And if you're sick of the Chiefs, and many people are, I didn't have the same level of Chiefs exhaustion as a lot of people. And I think that was a product of the Patriots were that team for me. So almost any alternative seemed better for me. And in general, I just thought the Chiefs as a dynasty were more likable a lot. I know they seemed to get the benefit of a lot of officiating calls, it seemed, and things like that. But, Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid and Spags, and it just was kind of a likable crew. And now they're kind of at a crossroads. So let's see. But to my point, you're probably sick of the Chiefs. If you're a fan of a team in the AFC North, AFC West, I know you're sick of the Chiefs. And keep this in mind. Once we have this conversation, at least in our show, but I think it will mirror this throughout the football coverage landscape, they're not even going to be on anyone's minds for the rest of the regular season and all the way through the playoffs, through the Super Bowl. You're about to get your break from the Chiefs that you've been waiting for a long time. Yeah,
this is the bookend, and we're going to do it the way that we choose to.
Okay.
The right way.
Also, we're going to end the show with the Thursday night preview. It's arguably the game of the year. At least if you look at the HTC Power Rankings, the number 1 Los Angeles Rams travel to Seattle to take on the number 2 Seahawks with huge ramifications. So we'll hit that at the bottom of the show. But before we get to that, I thought this would be a good ep, Mark, to put something on the Quiet Storm's plate. And let's have some fun with the season now, just 3 weeks left. Let's try, and this is always dangerous business. And Justin, I want you to join me on this because I'm not doing it alone. Do you understand me? I'm not going inside Marc Sessler's brain by myself. Hold my hand, Mark. Justin, put your hand on my hip. Remember when you had your crush? You would have your crush. Now I'm telling you a story. It's like directly about my own past, but like you really like this girl, and maybe it was more a platonic relationship from her perspective, but this was your chance. You always thought maybe you had a chance. So, let's go to the old, Halloween's coming up. Let's go to the pumpkin patch on a Saturday afternoon. The old pumpkin patch. Give me my music for this, Justin. Yeah, sometimes we'd go as the leaves turned in the fall. We'd go over to the pumpkin patch. With that chill in the air, and you put on your fall coat with the girl that you love. And she loves you, but maybe not like that. But now you go into the haunted house, and she's scared, and she's holding on to you. For one brief moment, everything seems right. Until you come out into the harsh light of day, and she still sees you as just a friend.
So wait a minute. So just a quick question on that. It feels accurate that she has only platonic feelings. And so your methodology is to somehow strike fear into her sensibility and heart, where she is forced to cling to you in a moment of destabilized mental activity.
I don't like the use of the word force. But I think
okay, she chose.
Yeah, like just that sense of intimacy, like, oh, protect me. And it's like for that moment alone. It's tough out there in the streets when you're young and dating and trying to figure out how to run through that gauntlet of life. And I certainly struggled with it. And I'll try to help my own sons as they enter that portal. But they're not going to want to hear from Dad. They're just going to have to learn it themselves. You know what I mean? But point being, Justin, hold me as we go through the haunted house of Mark's mind.
Okay.
Will do.
Hold me so close.
Yeah, we've prepared a little.
Go ahead.
It's a good day to play a little game on Wednesday. So, Justin, let's hit our opener here.
Ooh, 3 truths and a lie inside the quiet storm. Check it out on YouTube. Hashtag 30K.
You know, when you were younger, I mean, maybe you could do it now, but like I used to go to a lot of like these leadership conferences for students, or this happened at like that summer camp I went to where you'd sit around in a circle with like 10 people that you're just getting to know, and you'd tell 4 things about yourself. And in your world, you're pitching that all 4 are true. But you know inside of your world that 3 of them are true and 1 is something made up. And the rest of the group, you go through all 4, then the rest of the group has to decide which one is the lie. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go with things that I absolutely believe about the NFL at this point in time, at this moment. Okay. So we'll get going.
I feel like I'm going to be really good at this game because I know Mark very well. Sometimes I feel like I know Mark more than Mark knows himself. So I'm going to preemptively say this is going to be a layup for the old Zuzzer, but, maybe not. Let's see.
If it's too much of a layup, we probably won't revisit this exercise again. So let's see how this goes.
We'll just slash it out of the show and retape and talk more about the girls that didn't want to be with me in the late 90s.
Yes, 20 more minutes on that. Okay, statement number 1 that I believe, okay? We know a friend in Baltimore, Stavros, who tends to go off the rails just a little bit when his Ravens fly into a kitchen window and separate into blood and bone, right?
Right.
For example, Justin, let's play a snippet of his reaction to the Steelers' loss.
We fucking suck dick. Patrick Queen, you're a fucking traitor, yo. Fucking get off this dick, Tony Romo. Fuck you too, Aaron Rodgers, and your fake wife. You fucking ruined Christmas for me and my fucking family! Ah!
Okay, so here is my latch on to this. I think he's amazing. My first offering, Stavros is going to be publishing a new little video on Sunday after Baltimore is dropped at home by an angry Patriots team, all but ending their pathetic season.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Oh, should we talk about them one at a time?
Well,
okay, we will. It's your game.
We'll keep it brief, but
no, yes, this is a layup for me. Like I said, this is easy. I could tell you why. Mark hates the Ravens. I also know from doing the show with Mark over the past 4 months that he doesn't necessarily believe in the Ravens. On the other side of the spectrum, he absolutely believes in the Patriots. So this one is, this is certainly true. Certainly true. Justin, I won't, I'd like to hear your thoughts, but there's no way to convince me otherwise that Mark absolutely believes that Mike Vrabel, his man crush, is going to go down there and even things up and get the Patriots pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I also think Mark believes this to be true. Does it end their season? I mean, I don't know. What if Pittsburgh loses? You never know. It might
but that's more an opinion.
Yeah.
But in terms of the game itself, yeah, because it certainly, it could end their season also. If the Steelers win and the Ravens lose, they're 2 up with 2 to play. And then it becomes, desperation times for Baltimore. But anyway, that's beside the point. Mark believes this wholeheartedly. Next.
Okay. Statement number 2. Tua, benched for Quinn Ewers, will never play another snap for the Miami Dolphins ever again.
Go ahead, Justin.
Seems like something that all of us probably believe, although the money situation is insane. More dead cap, I think, than Russell Wilson, which was an NFL record. Even if they do a post-June trade, if they'd have to find somebody with enough cap space to take on that contract. So
the number's crazy.
The number's crazy, but that doesn't mean that they won't just bench Tua, find somebody else, keep him on the roster as a high-priced backup. Or, hey, maybe hook 'em Quinn Ewers is a franchise quarterback. We don't know.
I mean, how about, as a brief aside, Zach Wilson, who I follow Zach Wilson on Instagram for fun, and the entire season has him just been posting photos. It's like camp happiness level, addiction to posting photos, but it's photos of his storybook wedding to his smoke show blonde wife.
I think there was one yesterday.
Yeah, which is totally fine. I'm very happy for Zach. It didn't work out with the Jets or in the NFL.
Friendship.
But there's more to life than pro football success, and he's rich and handsome young boy still. and he's got the woman of his dreams. So I'm all cool with that, but it also underlined to me throughout the season, this guy probably is totally fine with being a third-string quarterback for another year or two. And so it makes sense why he's not playing in this spot. As for what you're saying, yeah, Tua signed a 4-year, $212.1 million extension in 2024. It was a terrible decision at the time.
Yes.
Definitely said it on the show when it happened. A lot of people agreed due to just, I don't know, the health concerns about the recurring concussions, about some of the sniff test stuff that it never seemed like he passed. But anyway, after missing 6 games last year, he leads the league in interceptions this year, hence the benching. And he's guaranteed $54 million in 26. And as Justin alluded to, on March 15th next year, $3 million of his 27 salary will become guaranteed. If the Dolphins were to release him next year, the move would result in $99 million dead cap charge. Designating that move as a post-June 1st would lower that to 67.4 in 26 and 31.8 in 27. So that's a way to, split up the pain, but that's still a lot of pain. So I'm going to sit with that one. I want to hear the other two.
Okay, I will say they do have a new GM coming in, and there's always a way to push this money down the road. I know it seems like undoable, but there always is.
It could come down to. Well, we'll get back to it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Okay, statement number 3 that I believe: when the Rams lose again, Justin will be almost 5 months into his marriage with the lovely Jessica. And why don't you tell us when your wedding day is, Justin?
May 9th, 2026. So 5 months from that would be June, July, August, September, October of next season.
Almost 5 months. So in that range, though.
Wow. So they win out, run through the playoffs, and take home a Lombardi.
Who is this? The Rams, you said?
The Rams. And then open probably 3 or 4-0.
Yeah. I haven't heard Sessler cast any doubt on the Rams. They are the favorite. Are they the Vegas favorite right now, Justin? I believe they probably must be. They're the best team in football.
Got to be them or
all around.
the Bills. Or
I think you absolutely believe this. I would say I'm trying to think of some of Sessler's many pet teams this year. Like maybe he actually thinks it's the Packers, but no, now that Micah Parsons is out, he doesn't really like the Bills. He doesn't believe in them ultimately. I know he's got a hard on for the Patriots and Vrabel, but I don't think he sees them as the Super Bowl winner. All right. Yeah, that's true as all. That's not quite as easy as the first one, but it's pretty easy to me that the Sess dog believes in the Rams as the best team in football. Okay.
Let's do, let's wrap
the
it up
Rams
with.
Are plus 320 as the favorite to win the Super Bowl, yes.
Wait, let's guess who's second. Hang on. That's actually a good question.
I think it's
the desert. What would the desert
I think it's
say?
the Bills, just because they love the Bills. Even though it should be Seattle.
Well, it's not they. It's where the money's going, Sess Dog.
Well, people with money love the Bills.
All right, let me look at the our power rankings. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody here. I would say number 2. Seahawks, no. Packers, definitely not. Patriot, but yeah, to me, it's going to be either the Broncos or the Bills. I'm going to say just because you have to look at the odds of it, the Broncos have a very good chance of getting the bye and having home field through the playoffs. And for that reason alone, I'm going to say they are number 2 in this.
The Broncos and Bills are tied.
How about that?
The third best odds. The Seahawks are number 2 at plus 650.
Oh. See, that surprises me. That many people are feeling bullish about Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl. I mean, and I
think it's
love
the
Sam
overall
Darnold,
team, though.
Yeah, it's not just about where the money's going. It's also their formulas, and then their formulas are tweaked based on where the money's going. But yeah, Seattle
tweak
deserves
your
it.
formula in the old haunted house.
This is the top 4 teams in the odds to win the Super Bowl are the same 4 teams at the top of the HTC Power Rankings. How about that for power and official?
Hand on the pulse.
All right, Sessler, one more. Right now, I have a pretty strong feeling where I'm going to go unless this one makes it difficult. Let's see.
Okay, the feisty little Saints will win out to go 7-10 and care not about the upcoming quarterback class.
Okay, good job. I'm glad you see. That's good, Sessler, because I was afraid you were going to do something unserious there, and then it would be too easy. But now it's a little
No,
tricky.
these are truths, not fantasies.
Do you think the Saints are going to win out? I just got to take a look at the schedule. All right. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They beat your beloved Bucks 24-20. They beat the Panthers 2017 at the gun with our Charlie Smythe. Home against the Jets, at the Titans. Yeah, okay. You believe this. It's got a little too easy, actually, because they have the softest schedule in the league to close the season. Home Jets, at Tennessee, at Atlanta. That's the only game
they're
that looks
still
even
capable
difficult.
of dropping a game, but I think that they're pretty dialed in right now.
And I like that. Like, as a team, and you should like it too, Ceci, as fans of teams looking for a quarterback, the more teams we can get out of that mix,
Right.
and
Flush
out
them
of the top 5, like they're 4-10 right now. If they finish 4-13, they could be a problem for teams like the Jets and Browns looking for a quarterback. While we're here, I was thinking about this, Mark. I'm a little worried about your Browns. Maybe not for the reason you think.
Okay. Well, what's not to worry about?
Because they make terrible decisions all the time. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little concerned that they're going to potentially win a couple games down the stretch and stick with Shedeur next season. They have home Bills. That'll be tough. Home Steelers, at Cincinnati.
I don't know if
really
they win any of those games.
They could also lose all the games. I'm just saying, if they end up going 5-12, would they talk themselves out of taking a quarterback in this draft?
Well, it depends how he plays, right? And it depends if it's coming down from the owner, and if it depends if they have a new general manager and a new coach, and it feels very up in the air. And who's in the draft and where they are. But I don't think that I don't think there's been anything we've seen from. He had one good game, but there's not enough evidence to suggest you just roll with him.
My fear would be that they could be snookered here. That's all.
Or him and some veteran, and then it's, I don't know. Yeah.
All right, so this one I'm going to... Justin, you have anything to add on the Saints nugget?
No, just that, I'm still, I haven't pulled the receipts of my Saints take yet, but it seems like we all agree now. I think here's how we should do this ending. I think Mark should say each statement again, just quickly, and then Dan should say truth or lie, and then Mark will reveal if it's correct or incorrect.
Okay.
Okay, let's go through these. I mentioned that our friend Stavros, the Ravens fan, the angry Ravens fan, is going to release another video after a loss to the Patriots.
That is true.
Okay, that's your answer. Now Tua will never play another snap for the Miami Dolphins.
I believe that to be, in your mind, false.
Okay. When the Rams lose again, our producer Justin will be at least 5 months into his marriage with the lovely Jessica.
I'm seeing visions inside of Mark's mind right now. There's a naked Indian man in a desert.
Always.
There's a group of dogs playing poker. Is that the Virgin Mary? No, Madonna as a brunette. From Evita. Anyway, what were you saying?
The Rams will not lose again until Justin is at least 5 months into his marriage with the lovely Jessica.
That is true.
Okay, and then the feisty little Saints will win out, go 7-10, and ignore quarterbacks in the upcoming draft.
True. Do I know my Marky?
You do not.
What? What?
I want you to know something. I genuinely believe this, and it is a growing development in my mind, because what I want to happen does not happen. Those plucky little Ravens are going to beat the Patriots, stay alive,
Wow.
and the New England Patriots are going to find their first bit of real, inner turmoil. And how do you bounce back? Back-to-back losses to the Bills and Ravens. I genuinely, if I would go put money on this is my sports lock of the week. I am willing to very potentially lock this up as my lock too. I'm all in on this.
Ceci,
I
how could you
genuinely
not?
believe.
If we just went into your mind, the deepest recesses of your mind. It's a little person on a tricycle.
Yes.
It's Chevy Chase shaking hands with Gerald Ford. You must blind lock this.
I absolutely will. I absolutely will. I'm putting. I want you to know that I didn't just try to hoodwink you here. I wrote a bunch of these, and it's like this seeps through me as a truth, and I'm going to go all in on it.
Is that the man with the creature in the bear costume in the hotel room from The Shining? Yes, we're definitely in Mark's mind.
You got it right.
Well, I got it wrong, and
You did.
I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Okay. Good stuff. Whew. Hold me, Justin. Hold me by the hips. Oh, you smell so good.
Okay.
Are you wearing Fahrenheit?
Calvin,
All right.
Texas and
Let's take a break, and when we get back, Flashpoint Focus time.
winter weather changes fast, cold, wet, and windy, sometimes all in one shift. And when you're working through all of that, your gear can't be an afterthought. True Work is performance workwear built like it matters, because it does, Dan.
That's right, Mark. True Work was founded by a trade professional who was tired of wet, heavy, outdated gear slowing him down. So he set out to make workwear that actually supports the people doing the real work out there. Everything they make is designed with advanced performance fabrics for lasting comfort, all-day mobility, and year-round job site protection, no matter what the weather decides to do.
And the thing I love is that True Work tests every single piece on an actual job site with real trade pros. So when conditions change on you halfway through the day, you're still ready. It's why they have over 50,000 five-star reviews from pros in every trade and every climate. I've been wearing the M3 Whoopee hoodie, and it's quickly become a staple. Wind-resistant, insulated, and honestly just crazy comfortable. It's the perfect layer when the day can't make up its mind. We wear True Work, and you should too.
And here's a little admission. Mark and I aren't out there in the fields and on construction sites and in harsh conditions when we do the podcast. These hands are soft. However, True Work looks great, and we wear it, and it makes us look very masculine, and that works for us too. Upgrade your day with workwear built like it matters. Get 15% off your first order at truework.com with the code HTC. That's TRUEWERK.com.
I've bought a lot of glasses over the years, and I used to think you had to choose between style, comfort, or price, right? Turns out you don't. Warby Parker changed all that. They make every frame with premium materials so everything feels sturdy and looks sharp. Their in-house designs come in tons of colors and fits, which means there's a pair that actually flatters you. And with over 300 stores across the US and Canada, you can get styled by their friendly advisors or shop online from home.
Yeah, they're super friendly. I've been to the store here in LA, and they are incredibly effective at what they do. Warby Parker glasses start at just $95, including prescription lenses with anti-reflective, scratch-resistant coatings. Now, for me, I don't need prescription lenses. Perfect. The old blue eyes. The new old blue eyes, that is. But I did grab myself a pair of the classic timber sunglasses, and I honestly get compliments all the time, Sassy.
Yeah, well, I don't doubt that you're giving yourself some as well, but I do wear prescription lenses, and another reason I love Warby Parker, well, at their stores, eye exams start at just $85, and in fact, you can save 15% when you grab 2 or more pairs. You lose them, you need to. Plus, you get free shipping and free 30-day returns. It's basically risk-free. I shop at Warby Parker, and you, Dan, should too.
I do. Warby Parker has over 300 locations to help you find your next pair of glasses. You could also head over to warbyparker.com/HTC right now to try on any pair virtually. That's warbyparker.com/HTC, warbyparker.com/HTC.
What are some of the things you see from Loftus and also Stone Cold have a follow-up?
Who?
What do you see from Karlaftis and Stone Cold Jones?
I didn't know that's what people call them. That's what people call them?
Oh, yeah, it's a big thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud, a few weeks back, had no idea that Chris Jones, star defensive lineman of the Chiefs, was known as Stone Cold Chris Jones. And now I have some breaking news, Ceci.
Okay.
Oh, my God, Justin. That was rough, Justin. Justin, are your fingers swollen? Did you slam them in a door?
No, it's not about hitting the wrong button, knowing where the right button is. It's about not knowing which was the right button.
Were you seeing more buttons than are actually there due to some
guessing?
It's also about heavy weed use, but that's a side subject.
I didn't know you were going to say breaking
How many
news,
Sesslers
so.
do you see right now?
3 Sesslers and one of myself, and no one else.
All right, so here's the breaking news. About to join us is... There you go, now you got it. The man that is... Well, play it, Justin.
We always let the person we're talking to pick a new nickname for themselves. We knew you were a fan of wrestling, so we came up with 4 nicknames you can choose from.
Okay.
Stone Cold Chris Jones, the People's Champ Chris Jones, Superfly Chris Jones, or the Nature Boy Chris Jones.
You know I gotta go with the 316. Stone Cold, baby. Did you see the Stone Cold challenge?
I have not.
Get on my Twitter and see it, baby.
Oh my goodness. Stunning news. Old babyface Pete Sweeney and babyface Chris Jones.
Yeah.
In a one-on-one interview a few years back, it was Pete Sweeney that walked that nickname right up to Chris Jones and handed it to him. So we are ground zero for Stone Cold Jones. Pete, stunning news.
Yeah, that was an electric interview, as they all were back in the day. 2016, I was working for the team at the time. I might have still been. Thank you. God, I feel so grateful. Yeah, I was working for the team at the time, and we would do these 10-question interviews. We always did like a nickname thing, and I knew he liked wrestling, so I came up with one of them was obviously, as you heard, Stone Cold Jones. He took to it, and the next thing we knew, his Twitter was changed, his social media was changed, and he started referring to himself as Stone Cold Jones. So I think, to your point, I'd heard the show, and that's why I texted you guys. I don't think a lot of people outside of Kansas City really know that nickname, but he does go with it for all social media now.
Do you did that form between you and Chris Jones a friendship, a bond? Do you guys communicate about other life aspects outside of the sport?
A lot of times when we want to interview either him or defensive linemen in the locker room, he raises the music louder, and that's really across the board. So it's hard to hear on our recorders. So I don't know, looking back, if it really changed anything for us.
Yeah.
Wait, he goes out of his way to make your job more difficult for no apparent reason? Is that what you're insinuating, Pete?
It's kind of like playing around with us more than...
it's a bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a bit.
Hilarious.
What a bit.
I wouldn't go far. Yeah, and this is only occasional. To Jones's credit, he can sometimes be in a foul mood, and at the Chiefs, we've had some issues with players speaking because of how bad the season has gone, and this guy gets up there after every game and every Wednesday at the podium, so nothing but positivity on that front. But yeah, he likes to play with the media members, yeah.
I want my defensive linemen, especially my all-pro defensive linemen, to kind of be dicks, at least some of the time. I want that edge. I have no problem with it. Let's talk about it all. Pete, Flashpoint Focus, our award-winning series.
Wow.
It's great to have her in studio with us. That's part of. That's
I was
how
about
radio
to say,
works.
I'd like to meet her. She sounds
La
nice.
Cid.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a wonderful woman.
You know who that is? Okay.
That's our former producer.
Oh,
La Cid.
back in the day.
From back in the day.
I remember that. I'm a long time listener.
Yeah, she gets $12,000 in royalties every time we play it, so we're up to $250,000. Okay, we're up to 75 grand. Justin, we are an independent podcast. Cut that out.
Right. Sorry. As a producer, I get the backs of the ones who came before me.
Yeah,
noble.
a knife in their backs. All right, let's get to it. Listen, Pete, what a strange time it is to be alive. And this is your first time you've covered this team, both from inside the walls of their building as a team employee to the Arrowhead Pride site, where you really made your bones in a lot of ways, to now as the beat reporter for the Kansas City Star, the paper of record there. And you happen on your first full season on the beat to be here for the end of an era in Chiefs football. And we do this 3 days after the great Mahomes blows out his knee. What are the vibes around this building right now? I imagine them to be pretty poor. And what do you think comes next for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I would actually tell you that 2 weeks ago felt like the death in the locker room when they really lost control of the chances to make the postseason. And I thought that and those vibes were reflected in this last game where they still had a chance, but at the same time, it just never really felt like it. And then, yeah, you had that last moment where Mahomes is hurt, and with it, it is a 0% chance to make the playoffs. First time, really, since my first year covering the team at all in 14. So
wow,
it has been a lot of years since Kansas City hasn't been playing in January. And I think, oddly enough, like I was out there today and they did the usual Andy Reid, and actually it was the Gardner Minshew press conference and said today, I think there's like a sense right here, right now of like relief almost in a way for these last 3 games. Because I think for so long during the season, the Chiefs were trying to find it. And there was a lot of pressure that built up with that. And they weren't able to. They just were never able to put it all together. And now the last few games, I think provides the team some runway here to look inward, see what young pieces are on the team that can maybe be part of the solution next year, and what maybe they can walk away from. Like they have a couple of huge decisions in terms of contracts. And so, yeah, oddly enough, I think the real death feeling came in the locker room. I believe that was the Texans they lost to. And since then it's been more of a quiet acceptance. And obviously a huge question mark now. The number one question is, how soon can Patrick Mahomes get back?
It's I love what you said about the sense of relief, because I think even as just fans and people that cover football, the Chiefs just felt like an exercise, a tough exercise. And it's been such a long journey with so many extra games for all of them. But like, I look at the core of the team, like let's say Mahomes is your North Star, but it's been forever Travis Kelce. He's 36. Even Chris Jones turns 32 in this offseason. Like when they look at what happened here, the Brett Veaches and the Andy Reids of the world, do you think that they view this? Because people have compared it to like when the Patriots lost Brady in the middle of essentially two dynasties. Is this a blip on the radar, or do you think they self-scout and say, what needs to happen in this offseason? They've got a terrible cap situation. What needs to happen? How deep do the changes need to go?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a feeling that there are still pieces within the building to build around, but this is they call it Super Bowl or bust for a reason, right? And this was a bust in the worst fashion possible. So I think there's going to be some looking inward, and I think there'll be some assistant coach evaluations. I wonder if there's a new offensive voice that is thought about. I still think, and sorry, Justin, if you hate to hear this news, I think Matt Nagy will be in play for the Titans job. And I wonder if
that news.
I wonder if that could, be the first step in maybe some offensive breath of fresh air offensively. Because, I know that the scheme has been a big topic. You have to make huge decisions on the defensive side of the ball. Trent McDuffie is up. And if you're being real, and I'm not saying the Chiefs can't make the postseason next year, but as far as being elite again, especially with a Kelce leaving, potentially McDuffie, Jones could have another year on his tires. I mean, you might be looking at 2027 to get back to that tier 1. And so I think you treat accordingly, right? Like maybe you'll have a top 15 draft pick. For maybe a trade back isn't the worst idea in the world. We stockpile these draft picks, and now you aim for 2027 to recoup it as a superpower. I do still want to go back to, and I don't want to throw away 2026. Like you have Patrick Mahomes, you have one of these quarterbacks like a Burrow or a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen. Regardless of who's around you, if you're in the dance, I think there's always a chance. But I think as far as that wire-to-wire superpower, you got to be looking to rebuild that for 27.
Yeah, I mean, you just do some of the math of it, right? Like Mahomes suffers this injury in mid-December. It is, I don't know why this happens. I think sometimes that the initial reporting with this stuff is to make fans feel better. And then, like, I thought it was a little weird, Pete, how that report came out, I think, on Monday. only an ACL injury, no more structural damage for Patrick Mahomes. And then a couple hours later, it's like, oh, by the way, his LCL also needed to be repaired. So it was two ligaments needed to be reattached or replaced or whatever they do, right? So that's a major surgery that comes with major rehab, and you do the math on it. It might not be, think back, you want to use the Brady example. Brady tears his ACL in September of 2008. And he is back for the next season, but he wasn't Tom Brady in 2009. And that team made it to the playoffs in 2009, but then got waxed by the Ravens in the wild card round. And the next season, I believe they were 14-2, and they kind of got back, and they were the number one seed before the Jets knocked them off at Foxborough. But stay on focus, Dan. Stay on topic. Yeah. I wonder if we're looking at the same thing, and maybe. And although I didn't agree with Connor's his comment about like this ACL injury for Mahomes is like almost like, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but almost a positive in terms of resetting things. I also see this as a chance for the Chiefs to take a deep breath and be like, let's maybe not go crazy with like a reload here and go nuts trying to get back to the summit next year when it might be kind of a work his way back year for Mahomes. So that makes a lot of sense to me, Pete. Like, what do you think is the number one thing on this roster, though, that has degraded in terms of position group?
Well, I think, if Travis Kelce retires, that's going to be a big question because, I mean, for so many years, he garnered the attention of opposing defenses and you could kind of play off him. And he's taken a step back in the last 2 or 3 years or so. And the Chiefs have really, I think, had a hard time trying to find who that guy is going to be. I think they had high hopes for Rashee Rice this year. He's another one whose contract is going to be up and comes with all sorts of questions, and you really have to make a good decision on him as well. I think if I have to pick one, to me, it's this juice along the defensive line. Chris Jones is still a great player, but he commands a lot of double teams, and the thought process behind that is, okay, Chris Jones is being doubled, sometimes tripled. It should open up one-on-ones for George Karlaftis and a Mike Dana, maybe some of your other linemen like a Charles Omenihu. It really hasn't translated to getting to the quarterback. And so, depending on how the Chiefs do in these next 3 games, this is a different deal. I mean, Gardner Minshew's starting, so we're saying, oh, they'll beat the Titans and the Raiders. Maybe they split, and maybe their draft position is top 15. And maybe you finally have an opportunity while you have this great franchise quarterback who everyone believes in, but even as he comes off of injury, to get, instead of what would be the 5th defensive end off the board, a cornerback like McDuffie who just happens to drop in the 20s, so the trade is digestible. Maybe it is actually like, hey, this is the 2nd best defensive end on the board. Maybe this is the best defensive tackle. So, somehow he slipped all the way to like 13, 12, whatever they end up being. And so I think that pick, and we kind of said this on our Star podcast this week, that this pick is almost the biggest pick. That first round pick is the biggest pick maybe since Patrick Mahomes was drafted in 2017 for Kansas City.
You look back on like Andy Reid when he left the Eagles, that it wasn't because he wasn't a great coach, I don't think anyone thought that. It was things just got kind of tired. It just felt like the end. Then bang, a week, like days later, he's doing his opening presser with the Chiefs and it feels new. Obviously, Andy Reid and the Chiefs are going to stay together, but do you think that Andy Reid would look at himself or everything that's happened this season? Is it enough to suggest that Andy Reid needs to change or modernize or adjust a little bit? Or is it, we're just going to keep doing what we've done because we need to get healthy and things will change and we'll restock the roster?
Andy Reid's a big routine guy, and he doesn't like to change up much, but he does do evaluations at the end of every year and is honest with himself. And I go back to 2019 when the Chiefs still had a defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton, and Andy is sometimes loyal to a fault, but at that point he realized, like, we have to make a change here. And I think he'll be honest with himself. I call it a breath of fresh air. I mean, I still firmly believe that Reid is going to want to coach until Patrick Mahomes is no longer able to play. Now his health might give in, at a certain point where maybe he can't do it anymore. But as long as he's healthy, I think he'll want to continue. But I could see him being honest and saying, and especially if Nagy does get another opportunity, which he might, I think that is the perfect opportunity, the perfect segue to say, let's maybe bring in someone that maybe can think a little bit differently, and we can sort of reinvent the offense from that standpoint. I mean, you're looking at a very interesting 2026. As Dan kind of alluded to, you don't know when Mahomes is going to be back. I mean, he might not be back until week 5. So I think a very interesting thing will be, is Minshew going to be that guy that stays? He's only on the 1-year deal, will be a free agent, and runs the offense in the offseason and training camp if it comes to that? What if he has to start? How are you building the offense around that particular player? If it's not Minshew, maybe it's another veteran that will accept the backup role once Mahomes is healthy.
You mentioned defensive line is something that might need to be focused on. Can this team get a running game back? Like, I feel like that would really help the entire operation and Mahomes. That just feels like it's been lacking. I'd be curious to see if they invest in someone in free agency. I know the cap could make that tricky, or they prioritize it in the draft. Do you see running back as something that they could focus on in the upcoming year?
Dan, maybe more so than Taylor Swift, Jeremiah Love is the hot name that fans are muttering in Kansas City. Everybody wants to see them go and take an elite running back. I won't go as far as to say that they'll burn that top pick on someone like that. I mean, I think their mistake was not drafting one of the Woody Markses or the Kyle Manon guys this year that were available for them. But I do think they'll need to address it both in the draft and potentially free agency. I think what's become a theme in the NFL is the second act for a lot of these running backs. You think they're just dead and buried, and then you see Josh Jacobs with the new team, Derrick Henry with the new team. And so I think that'll be on the table as well. But I think the first thing, and again, it does get a little trickier with the injury, is you got to restructure Mahomes. His number is huge. I think this was always the offseason that they were going to do that. And then you find, what room you can operate from there with the remaining cap that you have.
Last thing, you have an open January. Like, what does Sweenbaum do with all of a sudden you're not going to be covering a game in early February unless the Star is covering the game they send you. But, what are you going to do? It's a different reality for you.
I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. Like, that saying, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. It is very weird to be thinking about January free-ish, right? We still have to write articles and begin to piece together, off-season decisions. But
you could do it in your den. You could just do it in the warmth of your by the fireplace versus
keep on the boxer briefs and have some coffee and hang out with the cat, Carmela Anthony. I don't know. There's a lot of cool places. If you look at a map, Kansas City is in the center of the country. So there's just a lot of drivable, cool cities that you don't even need to book a plane, especially you can work remote. There's not any media. So who knows? Maybe Colorado. I went to Denver. When I covered the Denver Broncos, I went to this speakeasy bar. It would just happen to be open after the game. I was looking for late bars. And the guy next to me, real weirdo, but he got French onion soup. And he's like, you got to have this French onion soup. And the Denver Broncos do media right. They really feed you well. But I'm like, I love French onion soup. And so I have it. They bring it out. There's braised pork rib within it was the heartiest, the most delicious. So I might have to just venture to Denver via car. Maybe spend a few days out there. And the soup is seasonal. So there's only so many months you can get it.
And I don't know if the audience is picking up what I'm picking up, but there's some DNA in the way that Pete likes to live his life that I know Sessler connects with. And it makes it all the more confusing why Marc continues to cold shoulder Pete in a social sense. He's very buddy when we're talking into microphones. But here's Pete, who has numerous times reached out to Marc about hangouts and things like that.
Well, this is a fabrication.
It certainly is not, as Pete will back me up on.
Yeah, Marc texted a postcard rate, and that's just one of the parts of our relationship that I've learned to accept. But I know eventually, at some point in the future, he will return it. He'll return.
I'm a USPS texter.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting by the phone or the mailbox for Marc Sessler to open up his heart once more. Pete, yes, disappointment. That's part of life, and trying to be friends with Marc, and trying to get the Chiefs back to the playoffs. But there's always a brighter horizon, and we'll see if the Chiefs can make their way there in 26. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And as always, go to the NBA Cup champions, the New York Knicks, and we'll jump on their journey
How about that?
We're happy about it. Yeah.
How about us winning the cup?
My shirt's in the mail. I've never bought anything celebrating the Knicks in my life, and terrible looking shirt. Bought it anyway.
No, you didn't, Pete.
Excited for
you
that.
Got the you bought the. They got you. That's how they get you, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it'll be like a walking parody. Like it'll be like a walking joke where the NBA coach
okay, inside joke. I don't think that's how David Silver, is that his name? Nate Silver? No, who's in
Adam.
Beverly Hills 90210 and who's the commissioner of the NBA?
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver. I feel like Adam Silver, the money for the hat goes directly into his banking account.
I'll leave you with this.
Yeah.
I was watching with a friend who didn't really know about the NBA too much. Why does his head look like that? And I said, that is one of the mysteries of the NBA, my friend.
You don't know.
You're talking about Brian Austin Green or the commissioner of the NBA?
The commissioner, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
Nate
with you.
Adam David Silver. He's got a
He's a little Palladian, a little sort of half alien, half human.
his head looks a little phallic.
And you know what, Pete grew up in the tri-state area as we did, and as a Knicks fan, we have never seen really any level of success. So I was really bittersweet when they defeated the Spurs and played great, and that was something to be excited about. But when they're hoisting the trophy and they have the big thing on the jumbotron, like Cup champions, I had this weird thing. And by the way, imagine if the NFL tried this shit, which they probably will down the line. I'd be so furious. I'm like, I don't even want this in like the synapses of my brain, because when the Knicks are holding up a trophy and there's a big champions thing on a jumbotron, I want it to be completely foreign and as alien as Silver's head. Like, so this is almost like some type of alternate dimension where the Knicks won a championship that I don't even want to bring into my consciousness, because when it actually happens one day, maybe even in June, I want it fresh. So I'm going to expunge it from my head. But my sons loved it. We watched the game. We celebrated. My Jack was in his Josh Hart jersey, and Harrison, who insanely insisted he wanted a Karl Anthony Towns jersey last year when we went to a game. Like, they were in their jerseys enjoying it. But it's for the kids, these trophies and the banners.
I love the look on Pete's face when you announced what jersey Harrison got there.
Cat is rough. Cat's a rough call. Yeah.
Cat's rough.
Love the NBA Cup. Don't love the Boise State courts. Could do without those. But aside
Is
from
this
that.
Flashpoint Focus, New York Knickerbockers? Okay.
Yeah, I'll get out of here. I'll
right,
take
Pete.
care, guys.
See you, Pete.
There he goes, Pete Sweeney. Love that guy.
What was this cup? Because I don't follow the NBA on any level other than until the playoffs come. They're handing out
All right,
cups.
so
at this point?
the biggest challenge facing the NBA, or one of the biggest challenges, is that at a certain point, fans and even players realize that the NBA does not matter. Even when your boy Flag scores 40 in
The regular
December.
season.
The regular season does not
42. Thank you
matter.
very much.
Yes, in especially in the prior calendar year. Okay, so like the 25-26 season, these games that are being played up to New Year's Eve and even through January, they feel unnecessary. But like the NFL, I was having this conversation with my buddy Mark with a K back east, who's a huge Knicks fan. Like the NFL, the NBA, and like MLB and all these other leagues, now because of all the streamers and all the money involved, they need to have more games. They need tonnage that they can sell to these different streamers, and they need hooks. And so what do? It's like that episode of The Simpsons, the great sanitation episode that has U2 in it, where they smash cut to the greeting card company trying to cook up a new holiday. So they just make up Love Day, and Marge buys into it, and they spend all this money. The NBA just cooked up Love Day and made this tournament in December that would ostensibly get people to care about the NBA this time of year.
I like that. I can see why it's not pure, though, or it's a little bit unbelievable. And don't give us a trophy or a cup before the real thing.
But imagine if the NFL, because it could happen, decides to have the, and insert huge sponsor here, NFL Cup in September. We would be going nuts about it. But
Yeah.
I guess you could tune it out. But when I turned on Amazon, for instance, because I forgot that Amazon will tell you, for instance, Thursday Night Football starts at 4:00 Pacific time, 7:00 Eastern, and you turn it on, and you have Ryan Fitzpatrick and the guy with the suit and the hoodie, like laughing for an hour and a half. Like, it was a 90-minute pregame show for a game that literally didn't even count in the standings. this game. Anyway, being grumpy about it. It was cool that the Knicks won something, but hopefully the real stuff in June will follow.
Andrew Whitworth takes a fashion bullet to the chest.
I don't know. He's really committed to that. I guess committed to the look, you know?
A burly man. I guess a burly man can get away with that on some level.
All right, let's take a break and we'll preview Thursday night. Ho, ho, ho. Sessler, this is the last week I'm going to ask you because then that's it. You're out of time. How's that Christmas shopping going?
You know what? I'm going to surprise you. I am all set thanks to Aura Frames.
Oh, amazing. You did it, Mark. If you're, but for the rest of you, if you're still hunting for the right gift, I got you covered. Aura Frames. Mark just said it. It's the gift that makes it look like you planned it all along. Thoughtful, personal, and easy. Basically, the holiday trifecta.
Yeah, Dan, as I told you last week, I always struggle to find a truly personal gift. For the people closest to me, you want something meaningful. I'm not trying to waste my money.
I'm so proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
And, you know, that's why Aura Frames is perfect. Last year, I gave an Aura frame to my parents. They loved it. I preloaded it with my old family photos, some vacation shots. You know, my parents just celebrated their 50th. I had like 400 photos to choose from. Bang! They're living on the easy street because I just gave them a gift that they'll love forever. Now it sits in their living room, rotating through memories all day long. You can preload photos before it ships and keep adding new ones anytime from anywhere. Plus, every frame comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, so it's beautiful right out of the box. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it.
For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Heed the Call at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Heed the Call.
All one word. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Mark, you did it, buddy.
Thank you.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
Are you interested in effortlessly growing your Bitcoin portfolio? I sure am. The Bitcoin Credit Card by Gemini earns you Bitcoin back on every purchase. Use it like any credit card. Buy lunch, gas, or your weekly groceries, and you'll earn up to 4% back instantly in Bitcoin or one of over 50 other cryptos straight to your account. All that with no annual fee. And right now, you can grab a $200 Bitcoin welcome bonus. It's the easiest way to start building your Bitcoin stack. Go to Gemini.com/card to learn more. Terms apply. See the link in the description for more information regarding rates and fees. Issued by WebBank. To qualify for the $200 crypto intro bonus, you must spend $3,000 in your first 90 days. Some exclusions to instant rewards apply. This is not investment advice, and trading crypto involves risk. Check Gemini's website for more details on rates and fees.
All right, we are back. It is arguably the game of the week, game of the year. In fact, inarguably, because it's the #1 Los Angeles Rams in the HTC Power Rankings at the #2 Seattle Seahawks. And when you take a look at the standings in the NFC West, the stakes are enormous. Both teams sitting at 11-3. That is the best mark in the NFC. So the winner of this game is in prime position to claim the top seed in the NFC, the bye, and the home field advantage that goes with it. And if you go back earlier in this season, the Rams defeated the Seahawks at home 21-19 about a month and a half ago. So if the Rams, which, you know, matters big time, because if the Rams win this game, they essentially have a 2-game lead because they will have the tiebreaker on the Seattle Seahawks with 2 to play and the Falcons and Cardinals on their schedule. So it's essentially a T-shirt and hat day for the Rams on Thursday night. They win this game. They are the NFC West champions and almost certainly, given their schedule, barring an act of God, going to claim the #1 seed. So, but it's all in front of Seattle right now, Ceci. They're in their building. They have an opportunity here, and if it could be, I don't want to make too much of it because they've been a very good road team this year. They're a great team, but it could decide their season. I mean, the idea of the difference between having a bye and games and the playoffs going through you and having to win 3 straight road games to get to the Super Bowl could be life or death for teams. So let's see if Seattle has that urgency at kickoff. I got a feeling they will have that urgency because they are badass.
I do too. And I think when it's huge that it's a home game. But the way that they're built, as you mentioned, to win on the road, like I think they are like the mentality of this team under Mike Macdonald is a big difference maker from the vast majority of the NFL. And, you know, like that performance where you had Sam Darnold throwing 4 interceptions and you still get clipped by only 2 points. They're going to hang around in this. I think what's changed, though, or what's turned up a little bit since that matchup on November 16th is that the Rams offense has gone nuclear. I mean, it's over the last 2 games, they've topped 40 points and 500 yards in each of those tilts. Your quarterback is the unquestioned MVP. I don't want to hear about anyone else. I think also you've got the top rushing team in the league by so many different metrics, and Kieran Williams and Blake Corum have become dual hammers that are destroying teams down the stretch. I don't know if we're going to get Devontae Adams in this, but this Rams offense is, to me, if they can go in and do what they normally do, which is going to be very tough against this defense, they're going to win this game. That's the way I feel. But like, it's the intellectual battle between Sean McVay and Mike Macdonald, because the Seahawks defense is very tough to unspool and figure out. And they gave the Rams some problems last time they played.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Rams in this game. We'll pick it, but you know, spoiler alert. To your point, what's the best thing going right now in this matchup? And it's the Los Angeles offense, which in 2 consecutive weeks have gone over 40 points and 500 yards. I think there's a very real battle going on for the MVP between Stafford and Josh Allen, especially if Allen continues to close the way he's doing as a wrecking ball of the football world. But Stafford, who's in a great situation, but he's also playing arguably the best football of his career behind the best running game in the league. They're the top rushing team in almost every category since midseason. So that they've leveled up in their running game. And Stafford is getting protection in front of him, and he's making the right decisions, and his arm is as strong and accurate as ever. So I don't know how that travels in Seattle with the Seahawks defense, knowing the stakes and the coaching staff and the crowd, which is going to be bonkers in this game, and I can't wait for it. The Devontae Adams injury is it's a big one on a short week. I know there's a chance he plays in this game, as I understand it. Justin, if you could check in on that.
He's not ruled out yet.
He's not ruled out, but also I would, if I was the Rams and the eye is the Super Bowl, I'd be very careful about running him out there 4 days after dropping in a heap a 32-year-old wide receiver, knowing the goal here is to win a game in February. But that's just me. They might deem this to be a risk worth taking. But even then, and we've talked about it a lot, Adams became the best goal line back in football this year with his patterns. That's actually eased off a little bit, and the running game is so good now that McVay can pick his poison down inside the 10 and kill you anyway. So it kind of comes down to, can Seattle neutralize Los Angeles' offense in any way? And then the big question is the Seattle offense, which, remember, even last week, it was just 6 field goals against the Colts at home. Darnold has played better the last couple of weeks, but like you said, he cratered against the Rams in the previous matchup. So all eyes are going to be on Darnold in primetime against this team. It's a major for the Darnold hive. We're excited about the opportunity for Sam here, but we're a little bit nervous. And we'll see what happens.
It's interesting because they are, unlike the Rams, I think they've struggled to establish like a really supportive run game for Darnold week after week. I think they want to, but it's not been the case. And it's, Michael Shandagar, a friend, I love this line he wrote about the Seattle attack. It's like, Seattle is basically a boxer who threatens opponents with only haymakers and knockouts. This team doesn't jab. So I think the emphasis is on Darnold and the passing game. And I think the key injury in this matchup is that Seattle's left tackle, Charles Cross, had a hamstring injury at the end of that Seattle-Indianapolis game. It doesn't sound like he's going to play. So you got a backup in Josh Jones going against a figure like Jared Verse, little moments like that, matchups like that could change a lot for Sam Darnold in this. I think that's the even bigger injury than Devontae Adams.
What is the Adams update, Justin?
Yeah, so Adams dealing with the hamstring. Braden Fisk is also dealing with an ankle injury. Sean McVay said they will both be DNPs this week. They're not holding full practices with a short week. They're just doing walkthroughs, and he called them practice projections. But Sean McVay said, we'll take it all the way up to game time and give those guys every chance to play, which sounds like the kind of thing you say when you don't want Seattle to know that they're not going to play. That's just my opinion.
Right, but we saw what happened with Amon-Ra St. Brown in Detroit on
True.
a Thursday night when everybody thought he wasn't going to play. I'd be very careful. There's just so much, like when with St. Brown, the Lions season felt hanging in the balance on that game, and they against the Cowboys with the playoff implications. Seattle's making the playoffs, or Los Angeles is making the playoffs either way. We'll see. I'm going to say he's not going to play, but could be wrong. To the point about Seattle's offense, if you look at their overall stats, they still look great. They're 5th in points per game, almost 29 points a game, 10th in points per drive, 13th in EPA per play. But it's not been the same the last few weeks. And they actually haven't scored a first quarter touchdown since week 10. And they haven't had a first half touchdown on offense since the Titans game back in week 12. So we know the Rams are going to be hard to negate on offense. If these trends hold, that is a recipe, Mark, for being down 17-3 at halftime. And I don't know if you can dig out against the Rams team this good. So you need to come out fast on offense. And I'll name one more difference maker before we pick this game. Jason Myers has quietly been absolutely nails this season. 6 for 6, as we know, including the game winner on Sunday. If this game gets close, the kicking game decidedly favors with the Seahawks over thicker kicker Mevis with the Rams, even though he's coming off a good game.
We do love thicker kicker.
We like thicker kicker, but we love the season Myers is having. Let's pick this game, Mark.
Okay, I think this is going to be. I don't know if it's the greatest Thursday night football matchup late in the season like this that I can remember, but I think it is. Great job by the scheduling the last couple of weeks. My heart says Seattle, but my head is I'm going to go LA Rams 24-23.
Okay. Yeah, I think if that's low scoring by the standards of the Rams. I think if they get into that game, I think the Seahawks find a way. But I don't think that's how it goes. I just think the Rams are too good, and I think I thought their performance this past week was so emblematic of what they are. They're overwhelming, because even when they were kind of shooting themselves in the foot early in their Sunday win, they eventually just rev it up and they just become this tank, an unstoppable tank. So I'm going to go Rams 31, Seattle 21, and yes, I kind of got to see it from Sam. I got to see it in a big spot from Sam. I
think it would be good for him to see it in himself too.
Yeah, like I think it's a really important game for Darnold to play well, win or lose, play well, and don't have these boogeymen around the team going into January, because people will be talking about it. The way people talk about Darnold now in terms of can this guy be trusted, if he tanks this game like he tanked the one last month, it's going to be deafening, that type of doubt around the team. And I think that affects Darnold. I think he's a player that really thrives on confidence and being in a good headspace. And
quiet that narrative.
I don't know if he will be if he bombs this game. So I'm rooting for him, but I'm calling the Rams as well.
By the way, what would it look like for me had I picked Seattle there after telling you that my truth was that they were not going to lose until 5 months after Justin's wedding? That would have been a hard right turn out of reality.
Yeah, but it also wouldn't be unlike a Sessler prediction. You're kind of known for these type of things.
I forgot that I had said that when I was making my game pick, so I'm glad I went Rams though.
So you would think the Seahawks are winning the Super Bowl? Okay.
I don't think that. I think the Rams are winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, the Rams are. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I got you. Sorry.
Yeah. Handily.
All right. All right. Good stuff. Thank you to Pete Sweeney, as always. And thank you to you, the viewer/listener. We'll be back on Thursday with a full preview of Week 16, as well as a recap of the game of the year. I can guarantee we're going to lead the show with Seahawks-Rams. So a lot of fun coming up. Until next time, do what you must. Heed the call.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday season? Make it something they'll actually use and love. Primally Pure's limited edition bundles are ready to wrap, toxin-free and intentionally crafted. From tallow body butters and natural deodorant to cozy, festive seasonal scents, these products are made exclusively for the most wonderful time of year. Skip the stress of last-minute shopping. These small batch, beyond sustainable skincare sets make gifting easy and intentional. Give more than a gift. Give a ritual that nurtures skin, body, and mind beyond the season. Get a head start on the season with Primally Pure and bring warmth, wellness, and nostalgic joy into your home with non-toxic rituals everyone will love.